Hey, what's going on, Addicts? It's your boy Rod. We're back for Pod 75. So, as usual, we're going to let the man with many nicknames introduce the pod, so I'm going to kick it to Phil. Go ahead, brother.
This week we're going to talk about a number 75 that was drafted as a tackle and ended up playing right guard for us. No, I'm not talking about Brandon Sheriff. I'm talking about Terry Hermeling. Terry was the left tackle for us on our 1972 NFC Championship winning team, and he moved to right guard for a couple of seasons before moving back to left tackle to finish out his career. He was with Washington from 1970 to 1980, played in 120 games, started 103 of them, and he was our longtime left tackle for the most part of the 70s until the arrival of Joe Jacoby. So not a well-known name to anyone who is familiar with the Gibbs glory years and beyond, but he was a steady, stalwart left tackle for us under the George Allen years. So props to Terry Hermeling. You are our featured player for podcast number 75. Take it away, guys.
Hey, Axe, as always, we got a dope intro from Phil, so Phil, appreciate that. But this evening, it's just Steve and I. Phil's on the road. He mailed in his report, and then Dev is at work. So the Fab Duo, we'll get it done, bring you some live content, as we always do with the Washington Football Addicts. But we're going to dive right into the first topic of this evening. And, Steve, you brought it up, but it's Tom Pelissero on Twitter this morning. He put out pretty much the new mandates or the new league rules for those who are fully vaccinated and non-vaccinated for COVID. So how you feeling about that, man, from what you've seen and what you read?
Yeah, bro. It's, I appreciate the fact that they're not forcing people to get vaccinated. That's their choice, whatever. But they're not making it easy. So they got to get tested every day. They got to wear masks everywhere they go during travel. They got to stay physically distant. They got to quarantine after high risk exposures. They're limited in the weight room. They can't be near anyone in the weight room. They got to be physically distanced during mealtime. So we're talking about they're going to be in the cafeteria sitting in the corner like little Tommy by himself. And you know what I mean? And then they can't do any media marketing or sponsorship, and no use of the steam room or saunas. And they can't leave the hotel to eat with their boys. So, yeah, I don't know. I got mixed feelings. But what I don't know is, like, in Maryland on July 1st, Governor Hogan's going to lift everything. I mean, kids don't have to wear masks at daycare, at schools anymore, like zero restrictions. So what does that mean for, like, if Virginia were to do that, does that mean that they're going to follow suit? I mean, it's a private business. Technically, they can do whatever they want. So I hope it doesn't cause any consternation or any strain, because, I mean, the only one you heard about is Montez Sweat. But, if they're abiding by it, then, hey, it might limit what the team can do as far as prepping. But I don't have any problems with it, but I would really hope it just kind of goes away with the rest of the local rules coming up. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm with you, man. And I tweeted earlier today. I went to visit a AMC theater for like the first time in probably 15, 16 months. And that's something that my family and I love to do. So it was weird. You're in there and there was literally no one in the lobby at all. We go in today and we have our masks on. My wife and I are vaccinated. The kids aren't. But, we're just respectful to others. And I was like, you know what, screw that. I'm gonna take it off. There's no real mandate anymore if you're vaccinated. And then I think of these NFL rules, and it's pretty austere for the folks who aren't vaccinated. And it's almost as they're like you said, they're not mandating that they get the vaccination, but it's almost punishing at the same time. And hey man, like, I'm a thousandaire. I'm not a millionaire at all, and I got my vaccine so I could do thousandaire things. And I don't know. I hope the players, they make a conscious decision. They talk with their medical providers, and if it makes sense for them and their family, get the vaccination, just so it's mentally, from a mental standpoint, like you said, that's little Timmy in the corner eating in the cafeteria by himself, can't use a steam room. It's just wild, like, holy crap. And yeah, it's like you said, the private business. The NFL's the private business. So Hogan lifting the restrictions, the NFL as a business can say, hey, this is what we do require, though. So It's crazy, man.
It's like tell me you want to meet. Tell me you're making vaccines mandatory without telling me you're making vaccines mandatory.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, man. And
So
it's wow. It makes a lot of sense for players to get vaccinated just from a human standpoint, you know.
Yep.
And
there's even restrictions on the media too. If they're not vaccinated, they don't have access to all the club facilities. They can't do in-person interviews. Their access to the press box, fields, and sidelines are only for those who are fully vaccinated. So now you're talking about if someone's a reporter, they can't be where the content is. Think of like JP or Kime or any of those dudes who are always there.
Yeah,
they don't have access to that. So I don't know. It's like you're forcing it without forcing it. But this could all be moot. What we don't know is what does this mean for the local guidelines and restrictions? And I believe the Players Association, they agreed to all this stuff. So
yeah, it's wild. And like, so my biggest takeaway is just looking at, I got that, you know, spreadsheet that shows fully vaccinated and not fully vaccinated. But my biggest takeaway is no capacity limits in the weight room when all are fully vaccinated. And then the 15-player limit when, you know, if you have non-fully vaccinated folks. So if you have a team of 52 fully vaccinated persons and then one person's in that room, does that mean that you can only have 15 people at a time in the weight room?
Yeah, see, now one person's decision is now affecting team operations, which you don't want to do. That's the biggest thing to me. It's not if it's an inconvenience for you, but are you messing up something the team wants to do? Does this mean now you can't have team meetings in the big team room, and you know Montez has to watch it from another room, or he has to be all the way in the back of the auditorium, or like how does that work? And now are you ostracizing your fellow? I don't know. It's just gonna be awkward.
Well, that's what I felt.
It's gonna be awkward.
I mean, you know, folks know like I'm active military, and like I travel quite often for my job, and you know the full bird colonel's talking to us. He's like, hey, like we're not saying you have to get fully vaccinated, but if you don't, like restrictions are coming. You may not be able to travel with us because you will hinder our ability to fully conduct our operations and gel as a team, go out for a fucking dinner, like go out for a drink. Like they've lifted everything today. Like Juneteenth has been announced. We're fucking off tomorrow. Like we're all celebrating. Like we can go beyond 250 miles. We are once again grown men in the U.S. Army where I'm stationed, and it's different across every installation. But yeah, man, like players, if you're listening to this, obviously you guys are reading the tea leaves. Talk to your doctor and maybe get vaccinated, man, because it's fuck. It opens up so much.
Just make an informed choice.
Yes,
make an informed choice. That's it. If you're gonna make a choice, that's fine. Just make an informed one, not a propaganda one or my buddy told. Just make an informed decision. The funny part is there's NFL players who aren't vaccinated are banned from nightclubs. Is that the Dwayne Haskins rule? Is that what they try to say?
I thought about that when I seen it. I was like, I'm not going to bring it up, but Steve brought it up. But yeah,
bars, house parties, concerts, $50,000 fine for the first check. And I mean, technically, if you're not stupid about it, you probably get away with it. But I don't know. And then there's impacts for the coaches too who aren't vaccinated. So like coaches aren't going to have access to their players. And I don't know what it looks like for the coaching staff. We haven't heard anything about what the coaching staff vaccination status looks like. I think Ron said, he just said as a team, we're just over 50%, I think. So, which is crazy because that's under the general. I think the general population is around 60.
Yeah, I think
of America.
60. Yeah. So I know Biden wanted 70% by July 4th. And I think last MSNBC, Fox article, whatever had come out that think that we'll be at like 67% as a nation,
right?
Like July 4th. So,
but here's the catch though. They're still making fully vaccinated individuals get tested every 2 weeks instead of every day. So there's still something there.
Well, yeah, it just says no daily testing, but I didn't copy all of Pelliciero's notes, but yeah, we didn't have to get tested. It was fucking great. I didn't have to get the nasal plunger, shoved up my nose every third day for this past exercise I was just at. So it feels good, but if you're in contact with someone, you don't have to quarantine if you're fully vaccinated. If you're not vaccinated, you got to go into that quarantine exposure. And I brought that up because it's going to roll into our next topic, Steve, is Peter Haley wrote an article for NBC Sports Washington, and it talks about the QB race that we're going to have. And he primarily says that's going to be a two-man race between Fitzpatrick and Heineke, based on, Rivera's recent comments to The Athletic. But he includes Kyle Allen not only for the fragility, I guess, of Taylor Heineke, but COVID. So if is that quarterback, is Allen going to be a vaccinated, non-vaccinated dude? Is he going to be available? It's crazy, man. But thinking about the QB carousel that we have coming up for the Washington football team, how do you feel about, that both COVID, I guess, and or Rivera's comments to The Athletic? That's just a two-man race.
Yeah, I think it is a two-man race. There's really, I don't think there's any question about it. It's two-man race. I think it fits his job to lose. He's the guy, but don't count out Taylor Heineke. I wish I was wearing my Heineke shirt, but I'm not, just because it's funny. Heineke. But so it is Ryan Fitzpatrick's job to lose, but I really have a feeling that Heineke is going to pull a Fitzpatrick, and he's going to somehow find a way to get into the game by week 5, week 6. It's just going to happen, and he's going to do something electric, and he's going to do what Fitzpatrick has been doing in the past. Like he did with when he on all his teams he came in, he's brought a flash in the pan, and then some young person eventually took his job. But it's going to be the inverse now. So I think Taylor Heineke will eventually take his job. Do I want him to? No, I want Fitz to play the whole year. I really want to play all 17 because I think that gives us the most stability we need. But Fitz is not the future. If Heineke is able to stay healthy and able to play at the level we saw in Tampa, bro, he could be the future. We just found a diamond in the rough. That never happens to us.
Never.
So just think about how cool it would be if it was. But yeah, I got Fitz at 1, Heineke at 2. They love Kyle Allen though, so maybe they put him on PUP and just say he's still injured. But I don't think Kyle Allen's going anywhere.
Yeah, and it's wild, man. When you talk about Fitz at 1 and Heineke at 2, and then Allen at 3, it kind of blows your mind though, because the team wants, I think the fan base wants, we just want someone to start week 1 and finish through week 17, 18, whatever the damn weeks are going to be with this, extended season. But if Heineke ends up being that dude, he's 28. He's not really old, not really young, but he's kind of in betweener. But the dude has playoff experience that Fitz doesn't have. And that means a lot. Fitz has a 53-89-1 record. I'm off by a game or two, I'm sure. But Heineke's 0-2 as a starter, 0-3. So, of course, he's not blowing the barn doors off either. I just want someone to start week 1 and not have to look behind their shoulder, and because they're blowing the barn doors off.
Right.
And that's all I want, Steve, man. Like it's so frustrating. Every year, I mean, the Washington Football Addicts, Redskins Addicts, it was formed because of the constant QB divide. And I do not want to relive that nightmare again, man. So I hope whoever takes over for the QB carousel just takes it, man.
I'm with you, man. It doesn't need to be a carousel. It just needs to be a quarterback. We talked about this before. We were all in agreement. It needs to be a quarterback, and there needs to be just a dude. Yes. Right now, we don't have that. We have a journeyman veteran who we know can play at times, and then we have a guy who's polarizing right behind him who you don't know what he can do. And so it's like we're almost right where we were before. You think about it.
It sucks. What are we doing?
Granted, we have stability. I think it's being run much more professional, but you are right, bro. We are in the same spot as we were, a couple years ago. I just think it's being handled at a different level, but it does suck. It does suck. So who do you think? Is it, you think it's going to be Fitz then Heineke 1-2?
I don't know. I want it to be a legit competition. So in the admin chat, me, you, Phil, and Dev, I was talking yesterday. I was like, hey, like Fitz doesn't deserve shit. And Phil's like, well, he has over 100 games and, he kind of does deserve that nod, but I don't think anyone on this roster deserves anything. I want a legitimate QB battle and let the best man win. Like we got it wrong last year. We tried to
Yeah, we did.
Pencil in Haskins as a week 1 starter and say, hey, it's his job to lose. Fuck, he probably lost it during the offseason. Like every report I've seen thus far, Steve, it's talked about Heineke outperforming Fitzpatrick from external sources. If you read something on WashingtonFootballTeam.com, the official, reporters belonging to the team, they talk about Fitzpatrick uplifting the wide receivers. So there's always 3 sides to the story, and you're like, okay, well, what's the truth? Is Fitz uplifting the receivers? Is Heineke outperforming him? Or is Steven Montez running the wishbone offense that we're not reading about, and he's going to be the guy? I have no idea.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It is. Now, Montez is the one who really intrigues me because
he's big and
I
fast.
love an athletic quarterback. He's big and fast.
Like
you love an athletic quarterback. He's just like Cam, 6'3", 6'4", big dude. The potential, maybe that's what Ron liked. Maybe that's what Ron sees in him. Maybe he sees Cam's stature. Maybe he sees, who knows? But imagine if they put Montez on the practice squad and they just got swooped up by another team. And like I said, I don't know the COVID rules for the practice squad this year.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Practice squad, it could be secured. Like last year, you couldn't snatch one off practice squads with COVID. Yeah. But being that everything is going back to normal, who knows?
Yeah, in case anyone's having a stroke or a mid-seizure because I said Montez is like Newton. I don't mean that as far as ability. I just mean that as physical stature. You got a number 1 overall pick and then an undrafted free agent. So don't want to confuse the two. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that he definitely fits the mold of a quarterback that Ron Rivera had his most success as a coaching. So, yeah.
But the thing is, they love Kyle Allen. Scott Turner, Ron Rivera, they are obsessed with Kyle Allen.
Yeah.
Like, why is he still around? They love this dude. That's
McCoy.
why I think, yes,
he's
Colt McCoy 2.0. And every time you think he gets a shot, something happened. He had his shot last year. Ron and Scott were like, all right, it's your turn. Let's go. Bam. Would he break his ankle? Broken ankle. So yeah, they love Kyle Allen. That's why I don't think I think Kyle Allen somehow finds a way to stay on this team.
Yeah.
Does he make the 53? Maybe not. I don't know.
That's crazy, man. Like, wow. Does he make the 53? Holy shit. That's huge.
Because then I mean, it's really between him and Montez. Do they dress 3? Does 3 people make the 53? 3 quarterbacks make the 53, or is it just 2? That's what you have to ask yourself.
Wow.
And I don't know the answer to that question. I think two to start, but we can adjust this later.
I'll tell you what, if we have 2 quarterbacks, that means that we are in a really, really, really good position, man, as a franchise.
Yeah.
Because it means that you have so much trust, faith, confidence in the ability of the number 1 guy. You don't need to keep a number 3.
Well, I mean, 2 is 1, 1 is none, right? Isn't that what we say in the Army? So yeah. You have the backup, you have the resiliency, you have the contingency there, but they traded a 5th round pick for him. Let's not forget that. They love this dude. Mm-hmm. So I think he finds a way to stay somehow. Okay. Some way.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, I just, like I said, though, whoever starts week 1, please get us through the entire season. Please bring us through the glory land. And that's going to segue into the next topic, Steve, because Dan Orlovsky from ESPN not only says that Washington football team has the possibility of being one of the fastest teams in the NFL, he has us as a top 4 team in the NFC. Good God, are we ready for that pressure and stress in DC?
No.
Why, Dan? Why did you say that?
Stop. Yeah, Dan, just stop. We love you. I don't love you as much as TJ. I like TJ O'Sullivan better. I'm not going to lie, but just stop. We like being under the radar. Give us 0 expectations. That way, if something does happen, we don't let anybody down. When you do stuff like this, now we have a bar. And we're not New England. We're not Green Bay. We're not those teams that consistently finish at the top of their division. We are working our way up the ladder. So stop with all the But you know what? It's just going to get worse. It does feel good. Yes.
Back. Listen, man, I'm 39. Steve, you're in my age bracket as well, plus or minus a year or 2. And this reminds me of our youth, like getting accolades from the national writers, national commentators, analysts, whatever. It's crazy. And I'm going to read verbatim what he said, but he just basically said if Washington can get its offense to match the defense provided last season, watch out. And then, quote, I think this offense is going to be predicated on a ton of speed. It might be the fastest offense in the NFL. That right there blows my mind because I look at Kansas City. I live in the Kansas City metro region. That's crazy to hear. Okay, continue quote. We're talking Terry McLaurin on the outside. Then they got Curtis Samuel in free agency. McLaurin's becoming one of the best receivers in the NFL, not just one of the best young ones. That's a hell of a stamp of approval. Yeah, he said Fitzpatrick, he points to Fitzpatrick. He says Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to have a ton of weapons to throw to. Diami Brown out of North Carolina is a huge selection. And then Antonio Gibson at tailback. These are 4 guys. They have absolute gas offensively. Good God. Stop it. It's June 17th. I shouldn't be getting excited. I'm getting flushed. My blood is steamy. What's going on, Steve? Do you agree with Dan Orlovsky, man?
I mean, statistically, yes. You look at those dudes 40 times. Yes, they're fast. But I will stand pat with this point. I don't know because practice speed doesn't equal game speed. I will go to the grave for that because I played quarterback and wide receiver growing up. I wasn't the fastest dude, but I could burn some mofos on the football field just from being technical, you know. So Terry's a fast dude all around. Like I haven't watched Curtis Samuel in North Carolina, so I don't know. Diami Brown, I know he's a burner. Does it translate to the NFL when you got NFL caliber cornerbacks and safeties covering you? I don't know. I hope so. It would be great, but I don't know. It would be dope. It's a lot to build up to, but you know what? If you ask me, you made the comment quoting him. If the offense can match what the defense provided last season, I would say we just need to be a little bit better than our offense was last year, and that was not good. If we saw how bad the quarterback play was last year. If we could just get one step above where we were last year on the offense, we're going to be fine. We will be fine. Think about how many times the offense could move the ball. We were going 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Alex Smith with his 3-yard passes and 4-yard passes. You know what I mean? So if we can just get better quarterback play like last year, man, we're gonna be fine. I think we will. Truly will.
That is definitely the key to our success. And I know, Steve, you don't have a ticker for this, so I feel like a douchebag bringing it up, but when we talk about speed, so we think of Antonio Gibson at running back position. We think of J.D. McKissick. Peyton Barber wasn't our speed guy, but he was more of a thumper. But this kid, Jarrett Patterson, man, out of Buffalo, is a 4.51 guy, and he got a little bit of flex during the mini camp and the rookie, OTAs, whatever they're calling it these days. If he can also show up and be willing and ready to play, do you think Peyton Barber stays on this team next year, or do you think he goes?
No, absolutely not. We talked about this a couple pods ago. I think you were working, but he's Patterson's. I cannot wait to see Patterson play. We were talking about Antonio Gibson, his turf toe. There's your banner right there. And
I love it.
If he got hurt, I didn't want to see Peyton Barber. I want to see Jarrett Patterson. That's who I want to see. He's a little mini bowling ball who's super fast. So I don't need to see Peyton Barber. Apparently Peyton Barber lost weight. We needed Peyton Barber to be big to force the ball. So if Antonio Gibson goes down, you put Patterson in, and then you put J.D. McKissick as your receiving back. That's what I want to see. Give me Patterson all day long and twice on Sunday.
Yeah, and Randy Brown says that he expects both McKissick and Gibson to receive more passes out of the backfield this year. So sorry for that quick segue, Steve, but you're quick with the graphics. I appreciate it. That's dope.
But that's okay. We talked about that last couple of weeks ago on the pod. Is why was Scott Turner so hesitant to give a former wide receiver named Antonio Gibson catches out of the backfield? He's an instant mismatch for a linebacker, but you just ran him the ball. Why? Mm-hmm. When you put McKissick in the game, you knew they were passing.
Yeah.
It's like when Sprinkle's in the game, they ain't fucking passing the ball.
My God. Yeah.
Take advantage of your weapons. That's all you got to do.
Yeah. No, without a doubt, man. So taking advantage of the weapons, take advantage of the playing surface. So Steve, I want to segue into this next one. New playing field. Not a simple resurface. So we saw FedEx Field get resurfaced maybe 2 or 3 years ago. We all know once late October, early November shows around, you see that disgusting brown patch in the middle of the field. But Julie Donaldson was talking with the, I guess the field custodian. I'm not sure what the dude's official title would be. Groundskeeper, probably. But this is much more in depth that we've seen at FedEx in a long time as far as the playing surface. So just hearing the interview earlier today, man, they're replacing like 14 inches of subsurface, replacing the irrigation system, the drainage, the sand. Obviously, I'm not a botanist or a groundskeeper. I don't know the specifics of how you should get your grass to grow better and be strong, but it seems like they're finally doing it the right way. And they got input from Ron Rivera as well. So he's fully supportive of it. They believe that players will be able to play faster. They're growing the grass in Carolina. Maybe Ron Rivera has a discount in Carolina still. But Steve, how excited are you to think about FedEx Field getting a true resurface, resod? Playing field. I'm just calling it playing field.
Fair enough. First off, let's not call them groundskeepers. Let's call them surface engineers.
Okay.
Let's do that. Surface engineers.
I like
just
that.
Like, custodial arts. We'll call them surface engineers.
Surface engineers. That was stoic.
That's right. And two, so let's talk about what they have on the field now that they're tearing up. It's Kentucky bluegrass. From my memory, I haven't Googled this. Kentucky bluegrass is what I have in my backyard right now. Very common in this area. It dies 32 degrees and below. Once it turns 32 and below, it turns brown unless you take extreme measures to mitigate that. And so when it's wintertime, my damn grass is brown. So the color is I'm glad they're fixing that. Kentucky Blacks is a terrible, terrible choice for a field. Either go turf, or I would love to see what they're looking to replace this, like what type of grass, because when RG3 tore his ACL back in 2012, that's when I got into the whole, so what kind of grass are we actually at? And that's when I found out the type of grass it was, and realizing that it was so bad. And it'd be nice to see some grass that lasts all year long. And it would be nice to see, because remember, that was at a time where Dan was having concerts at FedEx Field on the off weeks. Yes. There's always activities on the field in between. Like, you can't do that during the season, Dan. Stop. Just stop. The season is reserved for the players. And I think a couple years ago, they started resurfacing the sod at the bye week, which is always good. So, hey, new surface, great. I know there's not that many grass fields left. I don't know if you know how many grass fields are left in the NFL, but I think it's less than 10. So we are a dying breed for sure. But turf, if you ever played on turf is nice. Your cleats are nice. You always see the guys wearing the white guards for the rug burn, but
that's what I was going to say though. The fucking rug burn is disgusting on turf. I hated it.
Yeah.
Hated it. Like, I just took my ACFT on fucking turf and it sucked just because I fell down like I'm clumsy. Yeah. Got rug burn on my elbows, man.
Disclaimer. I said Kentucky bluegrass. I'm sorry. Bermuda grass, not Kentucky bluegrass. It's Bermuda grass. And that's
like from the island Bermuda, like fucking hot tropical climate.
I don't know where it's from. I just know it's called Bermuda grass.
Talk about something random while I Google Bermuda grass.
Yes. Though I have Bermuda grass in my backyard, and I tell you, it's very sensitive to dog piss. It's very sensitive to mulberries, which I also have growing in my yard. So, and it's very sensitive to cats that come, like stray cats that come into the yard and like take a piss everywhere. But when it's blooming, it's nice grass. I will say it's very like carpet-like when you cut it low, and it's seeded well, and the weather's nice, and it's got plenty of rain, and it's hydrated. It's a nice crop of grass, but come wintertime, it's absolutely worthless.
Yeah, it says,
and as we've seen on the field,
the Google machine saying it flourishes in sites with full direct sun and good drainage. I think that last part, good drainage, is why it died at FedEx. The drainage system just sucked, it seemed. And that's what the what do you call it? Ground engineer?
Surface engineer.
Surface engineer. Jesus Christ, man. I can't even say it without smiling.
Trying to bring some prominence to the dudes who keep our fields good, man.
Surface engineer. Do I have to say that with a British accent, Steve? I gotta
Oh,
call
mate.
Andy and ask him how to say that, man. Andy Burrows, tell me how to say surface engineer.
Andy, question for you. What do you guys call the people who take care of the pitch? The pitch is a soccer field.
Okay.
That's what that I learned that from Ted Lasso. If you haven't seen it, go watch Ted Lasso.
Damn.
Great miniseries.
We are
Jason Sudeikis.
I like it. The pitch.
I
need to go to a soccer game out here. I
Yeah.
play FIFA 21. It's fucking lit me up. I want to go see like the Kansas City local team MLS club.
I'm gonna take my boys to go see DC United at Audi Field, because Audi Field's right across from Nats Park, and it's nice. It's right next to Fort
McNair.
Fort McNair. So I'll park at Fort McNair, and we'll just.
That's what I was gonna say. You better park at Fort McNair and walk out that entry gate. Yeah,
that's what we do. We go to Nats games just to keep it safe, Joe. So.
Oh yeah, I was at NDU when they were building that stadium, man. Yeah, it's
very nice.
I wish it could have been a Redskins Washington football team stadium there, but okay.
I know. That's where it needs to be.
Oh my God. Dude, okay. This isn't on topic. So I was just in Indianapolis, Steve, and like I rode through the city. Lucas Oil Field is like fucking perfect, man. Like it's right off the highway.
Right off. You can see it off to the right.
The city. Oh my God. I was like, this is dope. Dan Snyder,
completely indoors. That's why they have the rookie combine there every year.
God,
it's very nice,
beautiful, and we went to eat downtown Indianapolis, and maybe about 3-minute car ride back to the highway. We run the Lucas Oil Field. I'm like, holy shit, this is dope. So whatever the location is for the next Washington football team stadium, please be close to like either a highway, mass public transportation, something. Like FedEx is just horrible. Watching people walk through the woods to get to their metro stop and like not get mugged was horrible. Like asking people, where are you going? And they're like, oh, I'm walking to the metro stop. And it's just, they're walking through an unlit path. I'm like, this is disgusting.
I will say though, I do appreciate beers inside were, was it $9.50? So you always had to break a 10 or $9.75. Keep the quarter, bro. But I will appreciate the kids hustling on the path off the metro on Morgan Boulevard on the way in, selling beers for $5. Because I would always buy 3. I would always buy 3 on the way in, because there's these little cuts in the neighborhoods that you walk in. So hey, give me 3 and a water. So when my wife and I were season ticket, we'd always buy 3 beers and a water. We would just, the 3 beers would, by the time we get in, we would drink our 3 beers or hang out in the parking lot till it's time to go. Once again, nothing to do for the metro crowd before you go to a game. So fan ambassadors, fix that. Make it happen. Phil, Rio, everybody else. Yeah. Fix that
shit, son.
Metro crowd. Hire me. I'll barbecue at all the tailgates. Just let me get a free game ticket. Let's go.
Free parking ticket, something, man. Red zone lot or green lot.
Wherever it don't
green
matter.
Lot was jumping, man. The red zone lot was jumping as well. But when I was in green D when I was
green lot was always the best. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what that's called, the penny seat, but the green lot was always the best for tailgating, just because, especially if you wanted to get along the outer rim where you could be against the curb and have a little bit of grass, bro. It was nice. But if you could find some space in there, and I know they don't want you to do this, but anytime you tailgate, we met up at a tailgate one time. We always got 2 spots because you got to have your vehicle and your tables, and so you're not really getting max capacity at parking if you think about it.
I'll tell you what, though, the next stadium, it needs to be a 50,000 seat stadium with like 80,000 capacity for parking.
Yes.
Something like, honestly, let people spread out a little bit to just like FedEx. It was very cramped, is what I remember when I would park there and go to games. It's just, I have so many dings on my car doors. Like, I love you Redskins fans, Washington football team fans, but fuck you at the same time because you ding the shit out of my car. on
Get
numerous
parked for shit.
occasions.
We'll just pretend that was the away crowd.
Opposing team, exactly. Fuck opposing
That's right.
team fans. You
And
bastards.
we know there was a lot. There was a lot back then. So
it was a lot. And I did have Redskins tags on my car at the time. It said HTTR3 Virginia tags, and for the 3 Lombardis that we had. A lot of people always thought that was like, you got RG3 tags. I'm like, no, man, we have 3 fucking Lombardis, dude. Shut up. Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the closing topic, Steve, and this is interesting. This is very. I know Steve put on his hat, so he's got his thinking cap on for this one. For the folks who'll be watching us on YouTube, redrafting 2020. Justin Herbert, the offensive rookie of the year, versus Chase Young, the defensive rookie of the year for 2020. So, Steve, since you're the only other person on this pod with me this evening, if you had to redraft 2020, would you still go Chase Young or would you go Justin Herbert? The mic is yours.
I'm not going to lie, brother. I would go Justin Herbert.
Oh, my God.
I would go Justin Herbert, and simply because you need a quarterback. The quarterback is the most important part of the team, and Ron's running this basement bargain plan at quarterback, which is to be determined. I love Chase Young. Don't get me wrong, but to see what Justin Herbert did last year as a rookie, the dude can only get better. He's not going to get worse. And if he just continues to play at that level that he's been playing in, San Diego, whatever they're called, the Chargers, LA Chargers, they're gonna be good. So if you pull the gun to my head and tell me to redraft 2020, I would pick Justin Herbert. Not a popular opinion, probably. I'll probably get clamored for this on Twitter, and I'll post it on Twitter. You know what? I'll do a Twitter poll and ask this question and get slammed.
I want to see it. Tag me in it when you do.
I would draft Justin Herbert at the 2nd overall pick. Bam.
Washington football X, rest assured your boy Rod is not going to be like Steve. We got DeMathazone, Chase Young, defensive rookie of the year, number 2 overall, 7.5 sacks. I'm not Googling anything. This is off the top. He was a beast. He transformed our defense. And although when you look at defenses and you typically say the middle linebacker is the quarterback of the defense, I think we have a defensive quarterback in Chase Young. So for me, I wouldn't. Steve, I would not change the pick. I would still go Chase Young. I know that we're constantly looking for a quarterback in DC. And I'm probably saying this. Some folks are probably cheering that, yeah, Rod's awesome. Some people are saying, hey, Rod's an idiot. How is he the host of this damn show? But I don't know, like Chase was magical and Herbert was magical in San Diego as well. But I think because Chase wasn't a bust, I'd keep him. And of course, if we draft Chase Young, he had 1.5 sacks and he's an absolute train wreck, then yeah, of course, yeah, I'll take Justin Herbert all day. But when was Justin Herbert drafted? I don't know his exact draft position.
He was drafted the 6th pick overall.
Okay. So not far off. Not far off then.
No, not far off. But let's put this into perspective. As a rookie, this kid threw for 4,300 yards,
Beast.
31 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions.
Beast.
We haven't had that type of performance probably in the history of our franchise. Yeah. History of our franchise.
Yeah.
And this dude did it his rookie year.
Kirk never did Kirk ever go over 30 with us?
Kirk went like 27-10, 27-10. He was always like high 20s and early low double digits. He was never in 30s and at 10. I'll tell you that right now. So what Justin Herbert did was just very commendable. If he slumps, okay, but to me, with all the other strengths we have on this defense, Deron Payne, John Allen, Matt Ioannidis, Tim Settle lurking in the shadows, Montez Sweat, Kendall Fuller, Cam Curl, like we got all these dudes. I think we could be okay with Justin Herbert, and we wouldn't have to worry about a quarterback problem for years. And I think we'd be fine without Chase. Don't get me wrong, Chase. If you listen to this, don't fuck me up. I love you. but
How many
Justin Herbert would be the truth.
How many touchdowns did Justin Herbert have?
31. 3-1. 3-1.
Yo. How far back do you think we have to go to have 31 touchdown passes, Steve?
31. Okay. 31 touchdown passes in the Washington football team history going back. Definitely Redskins time frame. I don't even think Mark Rippon threw for 31 touchdowns. This is a tough one. He threw 28. It wasn't. I don't even think Brad Johnson threw 30 touchdowns. Man, you might have to go back 24. To like the
24
exactly.
For Brad Johnson.
Sammy Ball. I don't know.
25.
I honestly do not know. I do not know. 30 plus touchdowns.
Sonny Jurgensen, 1967.
I was gonna say maybe Joe Theismann, but I don't know. Sonny Jurgensen.
Joe Theismann had 29. I mean, Kurt tied Joe Theismann 29. 1983 to 2015. Holy shit.
You're solidifying my point.
Oh my God, stop it. Oh my God, dude. That's insane.
Solidifying my point. It's crazy, bro.
Since we had a quarterback throw 30 plus touchdowns. 1967, I was still swimming in my 17-year-old fucking father's nutsack. Wow. That's incredible, bro.
And
oh my God. We've been a passing league for like the past 10 years.
And remember, just put this into perspective. 30 touchdowns, high 20s is standard.
No, exactly.
For normal teams, it's standard.
31. 31 is our holy shit, man. Dude, that's insane.
Yeah.
That is insane. Holy hell.
See, you're making me feel
while we're on like statistics with quarterbacks, overall, highest QB rating for the Washington football team. Who do you got? Who do you think it is? I have it up, so I'm cheating. But it's just me and Steve. You're muted, Steve. You're muted. There you go. He's muted again. Steve is muted again. Get it. Come on, Steve. There you go. There you go.
Okay. Highest ever.
This is fun. This is unscripted part of the pod right now. It's just Steve and I. And I have the football database up, so I'm cheating a little bit. Robert Griffin III. RG3 with 2012, 102.4.
That was my second guess.
Oh my God. Okay. This is hilarious. It's Kirk Cousins right behind him, 101.6 in 2015.
For the number 2.
But then from that, it's so Kirk Cousins with the second highest QB rating with 101.6 behind RG3's 102.4. So the both years that they won a division title for us, 2012 and 2015. You have to go back to Mark Rippon's 1991 season, which was probably the greatest Redskins football team of all time. He had a QB rating of 97.9, which isn't a slouch, but damn. Like, that is just incredible to me, man. Like, whew, holy hell. We deserve a good quarterback. We talked about the quarterback a couple of segments ago, but we definitely need someone to take over this franchise in the next couple of years, man, and just get us where we need to be, because reading those statistics and those numbers is a little bit heartbreaking and something that you did not expect to see. So, oh, man, that's incredible. That is absolutely incredible. But we are now at the shout-out phase of our podcast, ladies and gentlemen. It's been quick. It's about 42 minutes right now when I'm talking about this, but I will give a shout-out to Hog Farmer Chris. So everyone knows the Hog Farmers. Unfortunately, man, the Hog Farmers got a little bit of a Hog Farmer Chris, at least. He got cut off from Twitter due to copyright infringement. So I want to give a shout-out to Hog Farmer Chris. Roughly the same handle. If you followed him, ladies and gentlemen, and you're cool with us, you're cool with him. It's Hog Farmer Chris, but 2 S's. So HOGFARMER CHRISS. So 2 S's this time around, but give the big homie Hog Farmer Chris some love. Follow him. And Steve, I'm going to pitch it to you for any shout-outs that you may have for this ending pod.
Yeah, sorry, a little technical difficulty there. Shout out to Dev. Shout out to Phil. Sorry, you guys couldn't be here. And, shout out to, say, Jason, Donaway, and Frederick Brown from the group, as long as Cody Jones.
Buddy.
Thanks for jumping into the live stream last week. I got some for you. I'm going to mail to you. And then I think over the next week or so, we got another guest coming on who's been, we'll call it a part of the extension of the team, maybe an extracurricular activity of the team. We won't spoil it now, but a lot of different culture things changing in the team, and this is one of them based on the name, and I think the management on the team just made a decision to cut bait on this asset of the team for now. So yeah, we're gonna have a member of that individual, of that organization on, and it should be fun. We won't spoil it till then. So
I won't spoil it, but damn it, better come back. We better come back. Okay.
1937.
My God.
Yeah.
Well, Pod 75 was a good one, man. I'm obviously jump off of this, probably look at a little bit of NBA basketball, go upstairs with the wife and kids. But Steve, it's always a pleasure, man. This was unique because you got the host, the co-host, and then the host and the co-host, kind of going back and forth. Steve, you're always a huge help to us. I won't say to me, but to us. You handle all the graphics. How we stream and go live every once in a while to the YouTube or Facebook. And this is the first time that you and I got to rock together, man. It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
I love Dev. I love Phil. But I'm gonna talk a little bit of shit on Phil because we're still recording. Phil, you're a mouthy son of a bitch at times. God damn, I love you to death. But damn, I got some inbox messages like, "Hey, tell Phil to shut up." Sometimes we love him, but damn, be brief. Jump in. So since you're not here to defend yourself, Phil, we'll talk a little bit of shit. But we love Phil. We call him the human computer. Obviously, we know he's a fan ambassador for the Washington football team, dealing with culture. And I was laughing, Steve. I had screenshotted something in the group because Lamar Bland was like, "Hey, show some respect to Phil. He's one of the fan ambassadors." I was like, "Oh my God, if Phil's head gets any bigger,
we in trouble, bro. We in trouble.
We will no longer be part of this solar system." But no, it's all jokes. It's all love, man. But it's been a blast. We're officially over 1 year old now with this podcast, and we look forward to continuing to bring you guys great content. So if you're listening to this, if you're watching us, like it, retweet it, reshare it, get folks to listen to us, get folks to subscribe to the YouTube channel, join the Facebook group, and just rock with us, man. Washington Football X, it's where it is, man. I love it.
Yeah, and I'm flashing up just for the YouTube crowd. We're gonna flash up here real quick the what Rob was trying to say earlier about go follow Hog Farmer Chris. So Hog Farmer Chris, 2 S's on the end. Give the man a follow.
Yeah,
copyright is a mofo. I better go back and delete some of the videos man. I have on my Twitter because they're about to get me next.
Dude, I've had it before. I've had it before, and it sucks the way that they do this, man. They don't even let you go in and delete those things. They just fucking tank your account. And what Chris does, not only for the Washington football team community, but for mankind, you have a charitable donation, I'm trying to think of what it's.
I mean, it's a legit charity, 501c3 for a good song.
Defeating kids' cancer. And I get it. Whoever laid that copyright claim against him, they don't know what Chris does, but I mean, former Marine, always a Marine, and they do great work for kids with childhood cancer, and for that dude to lose his account, I think he had like 5,000 followers too, man. He was pretty large. Give him a follow, man. Show some love to Hog Farmer Chris, man. We had Joe, one of the Hog Farmers on. We still have to have Chris on the pod with us, but they have a very important message. So I want to make sure that his messages continue to be heard. So yeah, give him a follow, man. And you see the banner if you're watching on YouTube at Hog Farmer Chris with 2 S's. So definitely do that. What? That's wraps out Pod 75. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate you. And until we see you again, be safe and continue to hail.
Peace.
Peace.